You don't need to be 8 million on Instagram. You don't need to be fucking Dr. Phil or Oprah.
Mhm.
Just make the fucking video. One person, one person, one person.
So it's crazy, like, eating disorders, and like I'm sure Kendall probably knows what I'm talking about when I say this. Like, it's just like this cloud that comes over your brain, and like you block out the world. Like I had tunnel vision. Um, like all I did in high school was go to school. Then I'd have like football practice. I'd come home, I'd work out, and then I'd do homework and go to bed. And I only let myself eat a certain amount of calories. And so obviously that's going to have an effect on your brain. Um, and I missed out on so much of my life, like my teenage years, and I can't get them back. And
Me too. Guess who
yeah,
else missed out on them? And let's focus on your next 100 years and not dwell on your last 6.
exactly. So with that, when I was stuck in the eating disorder, obviously, like I said, I didn't really know differently. Like I thought that's what I wanted and everything. So now that I'm recovering and I see that there's so much outside of this, I don't want anyone else to go through what I did because it's
So
terrible.
keep doing what you're doing right now
So how do I actually change their perspective and make an impact on them by telling my story?
by telling your story. Let me ask you a question, Sid.
Okay.
If I told you when you were 99 and you came to heaven, I was like, yo, Sid, remember Tea with Gary Vee? You're like, hey, Gary, how have you been? I'm like, good. I would say, hey, remember when we talked in 2020 and you asked that question? I said, just make, and you made a bunch of Instagrams and TikToks and YouTubes. But then after 6 months, you stopped because it wasn't getting traction. And you went on, and thank God it was so great. You listened to me and you became the greatest skiing instructor of all time. And da 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 da. Well, I don't know if you know this, but this is what's cool about heaven. Let me show you the woman who you impacted. She was one girl in, in Peru, in Winnipeg, in the south side of Chicago, who did watch. Your 87 views on this one YouTube video in 2021. 87 people watched it. But here's Karen, the one person who watched it, who you actually, had she not seen that video, here's what heaven's about. This is what her life would have been. Dead at 31 because she destroyed her body. But because of your video that only got 87 views, here was her life. Grandma, happy life. Wouldn't it be worth it?
Yeah, and
So stick with me.
okay.
So then make the video. You don't need to be 8 million on Instagram. You don't need to be fucking Dr. Phil or Oprah.
Mhm.
Just make the fucking video. One person, one person, one person.
I have
I've been in that mindset the whole time, Sid. Now it's more than one person, but I'm still in the one person game.
right. And I love that. I love like how I know you aren't a huge fan of compliments, but I love how humble you are about it. And I've been doing that. I do have a TikTok. I've been posting like minimum 4 times a day, and I'm not doing it for the followers. Like honestly, I could care less about that. I don't know how to actually get it to the people who I'm trying to
They'll find you.
connect it to.
They'll find you. Put hashtag, put 6 hashtags in your TikTok and Instagram and they'll find you. If you don't think there's little girls left and right putting hashtag eating disorder, clicking hashtag eating disorder, hashtag bulimia, like if you don't think that's happening, you're out of your mind. Put the hashtags in there. Make the
Yeah.
content. They'll find you.
Okay.
Somebody's going to find your TikTok in 19 years and it's going to help her. Tell the truth, one person. Tell the truth, one person. They'll find you. People are worried about getting bigger. Focus on putting out the message.
That's what I want. Like I want to even obviously start with one person, but like I'm a dreamer, and in my dream, like I'd love to like speak in front of a
I
people
understand.
and help them.
I
And
understand. But
mhm,
that means you're worried about you.
mhm. Yeah,
Worry about them.
yeah. And I want that too. Like I have friends
Everybody
in my
said,
program, and I love them.
so many people roll up to me and like, Gary, I want to be like you. I want to give. Da, da. And then you listen to the next 13 things out of their mouth and they're saying, I want to make $100,000 speaking and drive in private jets and have fun. Like they're not about that giving life.
Mhm.
If you want to help them, then help them.
Yeah.
Making the
Like,
videos is helping them. They'll find you. Of course you want to speak and all this. I get that. And maybe you're good enough and maybe you're not, and that's okay. But one more time with the heaven story.
Mhm.
Wouldn't it be worth it? And just like you figured out something else wasn't in the cards for you, you may find out that you speaking on public stages about this is not in the cards for you either. And that will be amazing. Or maybe it will be. But you're never going to figure it out if you're not completely in a selfless mind state of producing content on all the platforms. People don't produce on all the platforms because, like, I have no Twitter followers. So they don't want to have 3 Twitter followers because they're not worried about the audience. They're worried about themselves. They don't want to waste their time.
Right.
They don't like how it feels to have no audience.
Mhm. So then, if like I know I want to make those videos, make an impact even on that one person, but what do I do if that one person doesn't want to hear it? Like they just don't believe me.
You didn't believe anybody either back then.
Yeah, I know.
Sweetheart, most of the people don't believe the shit that's coming out of my mouth. They say they believe it, but they don't act on it, which means they don't believe it.
Mhm.
The student always finds the teacher, right? There's that saying, right? The student finds it, some shit like that, right?
Yeah.
Listen to me. They will find it. There are people who've been watch this in the comments. I don't know what you're watching on, but I'm going to watch it. There are people who've listened to me for 4 years, and then it was one time, one video. They were ready. I broke them down. They broke themselves down.
Mhm.
If they don't want to hear it, there's nothing me and you are going to do about it.
Yeah.
More importantly, go back to what I said. The one person. If everybody here who wants the fucking fame and the action focused on just one person in their life, which would be so worth it by human standards, it's fucking huge. It's fucking, what's the matter with people? Impacting one person and making their life better is all time. Why do you think, like, it's all time?
Yeah.
Somebody will be ready to hear you.
Okay.
But if you start putting out for the purpose of helping one person versus how do I get more followers, your content will be different. And when
Yeah.
your content is different, it'll start working.
Yeah. And I'm so sorry, I know you have people. Is like I've been coming out on TikTok, like just like speaking to the camera, talking about like
Good.
my experiences, but I've seen some other people doing like what they eat in a day, and I just don't know if that's the best idea because that can be like
Do you want to do that?
not really.
So don't fucking do it. Just because they have 8,000 followers or 8 million followers because they do that works for them. You do you.
Yeah.
Pick a nice little song in the background so they find you through a trending song. Use the hashtags and fucking stay consistent.
Okay.
One person.
One
You don't need to figure out your life in the next 10 years. I don't give a fuck what your parents say.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Gary.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.